So I'm back with my little cuddlies, unfortunately not real cuddlies at the moment. A question I'm being asked a lot because it's getting quite cold in the UK and in other parts of the world. What is the best temperature to keep your rats at in the winter? Now there is a whole range of temperatures where people will tell you rats can tolerate cold conditions. They can tolerate cold conditions better than warm conditions, but tolerating conditions and being comfortable and happy and safe are totally different to the range that we would suggest to you, where a rat will be comfortable and safe. You'll remember your rat is not a wild rat, it's not living outside, it's not used to extreme temperatures and living in the cold. Your rat is living in a domestic environment, and you should make sure that your room is a constant temperature and avoid sudden changes to temperature. Get a thermometer into your rat room. You're going to have to take special care of your old, sick, very young and your hairless rats. It's one of the situations where your rat really needs to be in a group, a small group, at least 2 rats, because they're very social, they need the company of other rats, they get very unhappy on their own. And a little group of 3 or 4 rats, or 5 or 6 depending on your circumstances, they will huddle together and they will get some warmth from each other. So I'm going to just give you the figures that we use. We would always say never under 18 degrees centigrade, which is 64.4 Fahrenheit, never over 24 degrees centigrade, which is 75.2 Fahrenheit. We would aim to keep our rat room between 20 to 22 degrees centigrade, which is 68 to 71.6 Fahrenheit. Round about 21 is a comfortable temperature for us and our rats, so that's what we try to stick to. Always keep your rats in the main part of your house, never in sheds, garages, porches or conservatories. You need to avoid draughts. Draughts can be very bad for your rats' health, especially if they're unwell and they've got respiratory problems. You need to keep them away from windows, doors and radiators, because these are the places where they can easily get a draught or get too hot or too cold. If possible, keep the cage off of the floor, on a stand or on a small table, a sturdy, strong table. We use a very sturdy coffee table, and that raises them up off the floor. Some of our cages have stands, and so that's ideal. Just be careful when your cage is off the floor, when you open the door, that your rats don't tumble out and get injured. If you're using a portable heater, never use one that produces fumes, such as a portable gas heater, because fumes are also extremely bad for your rats. I have a bedding video which will list names of beddings that we use, but I'm going to just say to you now, a deep substrate layer in the bottom of your cage, very good for insulating and keeping your rats warm. Must be dust-free paper, never use wood shavings or wood-based. Dust-free shredded paper or shredded card, really nice soft landing for them if they should jump down, and also nice and warm. And give them lots of extra soft shredded nesting paper for their beds. They need more at this time of year than they will need in the summer. A nice warm fleecy hammock rather than a cotton type hammock. Fleece is much nicer, warmer for them, and also can be easily washed and dried. Make sure you have extra fleeces at this time of year, fleecy hammocks. I would suggest that the shredded card is better than using fleece, or the pellets, paper pellets, just much warmer for them. Always keep the cage nice and clean and dry. You're going to have to check the paper daily and remove any wet paper from their beds or the cage. And the hammocks as well, especially if you've got older rats that tend to use the hammock as a toilet. You really don't want your rats in wet, smelly hammocks in the winter. Now, I think if you just keep to those guidelines, keep a very close eye on your rats, check them constantly, make sure your heating is maintained, have a backup, like a portable heater that doesn't use gas, just in case there's an emergency. We have some plug-in electric heaters, and just do everything you can to keep your rats happy, healthy and safe. So if you can keep your rat room between 20 to 22 degrees centigrade, that is a really nice temperature for them.